About a year this time in 2021, fuel prices at the pumps in Ghana sold at an average of 5 Ghana cedi per litre. As of today, March 2022, the prices have doubled. This season of price spike is not only exclusive to Ghana, but the world at large. Why is this the case? And is there a way out? What is the fate of the consumer? Welcome to Energy Quest. Welcome to Energy Quest. Today, we're honored to have tea with Duncan Amoah, the Executive Secretary of COPEC, that's the Chamber for Petroleum Consumers. We're here to understand what he has for us, what plans are in place for the spiking petroleum prices that are making expenditures so high that we just can't afford. So Duncan, welcome.
Leslie, thank you, and enjoy your breakfast.
Thank you. Yes, so Duncan, tell us, what plans do you have for us?
Well, fuel pricing is becoming an issue for Ghanaians. We've been complaining about this for over a year now. Initially, we used to do around 0.79, 0.8 cents per litre.
Okay.
Fast forward to post-COVID, when prices started rising, we just crossed the dollar mark at some point. And one thing that an agrarian economy like ours does is that the moment fuel prices go up, everything also shoots or spikes. And so together with the driver unions, we've written memos, we've sent communication to authorities, including the finance ministry, to look at the fuel prices. But Leslie, what I can confirm is that nothing so far has been done. And so when you wake up and it's now moving from 8 Ghana cedi, which was an all-time high already, to additional 2 Ghana cedis,
10 and
to 10
over.
and over. What I can say is that every citizen in Ghana today is alarmed.
Feeling it.
Is alarmed.
Is it really everybody? Are we all buying that kind of fuel, or somebody somewhere buys it cheaper? I mean,
Leslie, those
because
defending,
if we are all feeling it, then I don't know.
Those defending currently are a small group who probably are either in government or enjoying certain largesse of government. But the everyday person, you know, the public transport operator, the private individual that needs fuel to go about their day-to-day jobs, they are feeling it really. And if you talk to the media people, they are not happy either.
Yeah.
And it's got so bad to a point that now some of them will come to you and say, look, let's go and look for fuel coupons. They don't even want money. Nothing really seems to fascinate anybody
but
more than
some
fuel
people
now.
believe we should not be complaining because world prices are going up. It's not a Ghanaian thing. You think so,
You see, Leslie, within the global context, I think I should hold my breakfast a bit. Within the global context, right, these things get me so passionate. And there are countries like Togo, Burkina, Cote d'Ivoire. They are also buying from the same global basket.
Yeah.
Right? Yet they have prices much lower than Ghana.
Why is that?
Yes, because you have a very weak local currency that is contributing strongly to pump prices. And then you also have a lot of taxes, right, on your price build that the other countries who even sometimes come and take transit cargo from you
You know, this
don't
tax
have.
thing fascinates me a lot. Why is there nothing being done on the tax issue? Because there's too much tax on petroleum prices.
Leslie, we've said this. So Parliament has given a blank check to finance ministers. So when they need money, and of course, being the easiest, lowest hanging fruit, they all look to petroleum and take taxes. When they are exiting office, those taxes are not taken out.
Okay.
So this finance minister emerges says, I need revenue, let me slap 1 or 2 taxes on petrol. They would even go to Parliament and argue for sunset clauses and insist that some taxes are there for 3 years, 5 years, like the toll levy. They said toll had run into debt. Help us pay the debt. We've paid that debt since 2003.
It's still in the
19 years after, you are still paying. And toll is not even working. So
yeah,
they just input the taxes with all the very fine excuses that probably things are going to get better if you pay these taxes.
No, so you believe that within the price build-up, if some levels are taken out, which can be taken out, we should be in a better place, right?
Leslie, we have identified 2 of these taxes that immediately can give Ghanaians a relief of 60 pesos.
Oh,
The
okay.
special petroleum tax, right, was simply inserted at the time that global market prices had declined. And you know, Ghana is also an oil producing country.
Okay.
And so what you are exporting, the revenue you are expecting from your crude exports or your liftings, if crude prices tumble below 30 and you're expecting, say, $50 per your budgetary projections, you won't get it. So because they were not getting the 50 and it was at 30, they inserted a special petroleum tax, 46
really?
pesos.
That was the purpose?
Yes, that was a purpose.
Wow.
To augment government revenue due to a dip in global prices.
Okay.
Today, as we speak, the inverse is the case.
Yeah. But
You
we're
wanted
still
60,
taking that.
you are getting 100. Yet, what you inputted when it went to 30, you are still collecting it.
Okay, so besides taxes and the, excuse me to say, irrelevant lines in our price build-up, what else could have been done so we don't find ourselves in this situation?
Leslie, where Ghana is headed is a difficult place because we seem to have gotten the entire strategy package so wrong.
Oh,
When we struck oil in commercial quantities, the hope of many Ghanaians was that at least now something was going to cushion their fuel prices. The then president had said it was going to be a game changer and that is what was going to bring relief to Ghanaians. Unfortunately, post 2010, when we started producing oil in commercial quantities, fuel prices have just, you know, if you do the price line, it's only risen and sharply. We just did a certain extrapolation of taxes alone. Between 2015 and now, we have grown taxes on petrol in excess of 78%.
wow.
What existed and what we have added, we've grown it so much.
So every time there's any stiff in the finances of the government in running, they just go to petroleum.
It goes to petroleum. And what they forget,
And petroleum is central.
what
So
they forget,
it affects everything else.
they are also paying for it. But you see, the problem with Ghana now is that those within the policy space who could take decisions to bring down prices of petrol, they themselves are getting it for free.
Oh, really? Are you sure?
Leslie, a lot of people are running around with free fuel. A lot, especially within the government setup.
Oh, so they don't feel what we feel,
they
I
don't.
guess.
They don't. So if you had, let's say, a media discussion, you open your phone lines, the ordinary Ghanaian is so bitter and complaining.
Oh, yes.
Yet, the one to sit in the comfort of his office to say, look, we need to do A and B to bring down prices, is making excuses. He doesn't feel it.
No, because the same way, if, not per assumption, but definitely the commercial vehicles are going to respond as prices going beyond 10 and all that. So if transport fares are increased, it comes back to the everyday Ghanaian. You're going to spend more. You know, prices changing every day. Recently, tomato prices, all the vegetables in the market. Very soon, we'll buy one tomato for 5 cedis. Yeah, it's extreme, but that's where we are going.
Leslie,
And that same group will not feel this. Right.
If you recall, was it November or December 2021, before the Christmas, the commercial transport operators had decided to do a sit-down strike because of fuel prices.
Oh, yes.
So they stopped working for a day. We had a lot of engagements with them. Initially, the excuse is that let's go and increase transport fares.
Yeah.
But you know what the problem is? When you increase transport fares, those who join public transport is not the political class. It's not those in the big offices getting free fuel. They won't even join public transport. It is the same ordinary people that we are fighting for
Who
will come to join.
More.
So I told the drivers plainly, those who will come and join are your aunties, cousins, sisters.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
When they come back to the house, they'll tell you now everything has gone up. So you, the same driver that has collected more from their transportation,
it's a cycle, right?
So you should give them the money. And it replicates to the governmental structure. What government doesn't realize is that when you allow fuel prices to go up, labor will come and take the money that you think you are collecting from taxes back from you. Because they can no longer go to work and return home safely. They can no longer afford to keep, body and soul together.
Exactly.
With their
so come back to you.
They will come back to you.
Of course. Because if prices are changing weekly, daily, salaries don't change weekly and daily. So they need to demand it.
Exactly. They will come and take the money. So sometimes we advise governments not to think of just revenue, but think of impact. In fact, one of the things that makes policy, broader policy, either a good policy or a bad policy, is the unintended consequences.
Yeah,
I want to collect money.
Analyzed 360. It should be
exactly
all round. Yeah.
But in our part, they don't. They just look at, this policy is meant to generate revenue. But at what cost to the economy? At what cost to the people? And at what cost to the government itself? They don't care. So once finance minister has gotten money or revenue hitting the account,
is it about caring, or is it about having a good understanding what the situation is? Because if in the space of the of petroleum, there are technocrats in there who advise the government, I think we'll be in a better place. Or you don't think that's the problem?
You see, Leslie, I can say without equivocation that I'm aware the technocrats are advising. I have seen some correspondence here and there. But the final decision rests with a politician to do or not to do.
Yeah.
The politician is only there thinking, I have 2 billion. Why do I need to use it to subsidize petrol prices or soften taxes? 2 billion, we can probably use it for some contract somewhere and cream off a 10% or 20%. They prioritize procurement as opposed to the public good. So they would rather go and buy something that if you, Leslie, went to the market, you probably get it for 10 cedis. They'll buy it for 1,000 because there's a lot of mass to feed in the value chain. So their priorities, it's simply not the public good. Oftentimes, they would rather do things that inure to their benefit so that they can make the money, invest into the next election to perpetuate themselves,
No, but really,
in power.
If this is it, then what's the way forward? Because, from what you're saying, then where are we really going? What's the way forward?
Leslie, we need that kind of leadership in this country that is sensitive. The kind of leadership that says, what is of concern to Leslie, what is of concern to the trotro driver, is of concern to me. It is not your concerns are your concerns. I need money as a central government. Give me more money. Whether your business is collapsing,
everybody is complaining now.
Exactly.
You can't have forex rates racing. As of last week, I was surprised when we entered the 7. Suddenly we are in the 8, and from the way things are looking, we are definitely going to cross 9. And nobody's saying anything.
Leslie, so you see where their interest is. If it was their interest to see to it that your business, every other business survives, right? They will go down there, fold their sleeves and get to work and ask the hard questions of themselves.
Yeah.
But even for those of us within the civil society space that would ask the questions, they will forget about the questions and chase the questionnaire, the one asking the question. But we are asking these things because we want to see a much better Ghana. Global context exists, but you also had safety nets locally. That should have been kicking in at this time. One of them is BOST.
Very true.
You set up BOST to hold strategic stock for you. And the thinking again was that, when world market prices get difficult, Boss will have products that they can
so is
probably...
Boss doing as such? Has Boss
As
got
I
that
speak
buffer?
with you, I doubt they have a single liter of strategic stock to give Ghanaians.
That
Because
means
if they
that
did...
when the world price raises, it hits us directly,
Exactly.
right?
And so if Russia attacks Ukraine,
instantly,
the trotro driver here, who has probably no idea where even the Russian embassy is, or the Ukrainian ambassador or whoever, they have no idea.
He's hits like that.
Is forced to pay for what is happening in Europe because the safety nets, like your local refinery, who should have been working, we have shut the refinery. We rather want to go and buy from elsewhere, right, and bring it to the country. The politician simply doesn't care. I mean,
okay, Duncan, we can't say it's impossible. There should be a way out. What do we do now?
Let the finance ministry particularly come to the table.
Yeah.
Sit with BDCs. Sit with oil marketing companies. Sit with the trotro guys, right? Understand what is really happening. And be committed to finding a lasting solution. There are solutions. We have proposed and even added mathematical formula, right? What Ghana could do when crude hits 70, when it's 80, when it's 90.
But
those scenarios,
not implemented.
I mean, we know the NPA has equally advised that it should be, given a second look. But who will take the final decision won't take it. And Leslie, we are in a very big hole. How to get out of that hole would depend on the kind of leadership response we get.
This conversation I expected would even give some comfort that there's a way, but now it makes me feel even worse because I'm not seeing lights at the end of the tunnel.
Les, the reality, we've been talking, I'm sure we've had this kind of engagements in your previous editions. They hear us, we've written in black and white. They read, they acknowledge receipt of what you have presented.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends. And so the reality is that when you go to sleep on what Leslie and the business people are saying, what the media guys are saying, what civil society is saying, what the trotro drivers are saying, when you go to sleep on it, the pump prices would expose you eventually. And that is where we are. I'm afraid.
Wow.
It is nothing to be comfortable for. At 10 cedis a liter, even 5 cedis was a nightmare to a lot of people and businesses.
Yes, because a year this time, that's about March last year, the average pricing was about 5 cedis. So if you're in March again and you have to pay more than twice it, then where are we really heading? Because there should be a way out. I mean, so who are we really holding on this? You know? Because the finance ministry has something to say in there because Forex is affecting everything. Okay, the energy ministry is also there. I mean, everybody must contribute their quota somehow.
The buck will stop with the finance ministry. If I have to answer this question 10 times, I'll still ask questions of the finance minister. Because if you want to impose taxes, it's the same finance ministry that goes to parliament.
And for mine, I think the energy ministry should also do their part. Because like you said, if Boss is holding up something, we won't directly be hit by world prices.
Interventions being made by the energy ministry to bring down prices. The buck would, however, stop at finance. I know for a fact that there are a lot of senior government officials who are not happy with the way fuel price is heading.
Good.
But if the finance minister is not interested, can you force him?
What do you mean by that? Because for interested, he would definitely be interested.
Leslie, the BDCs would not be going back and forth with Bank of Ghana.
Pleading
for Forex. They won't go back and forth if there was a commitment.
If you sell products at price X today, and you do not get Forex to pay back, because all the fuels are imported, to pay back the supplier, a week after, you need so much more to source the same amount of USD to pay back.
So the capital for BDC and those who import fuel is endangered.
It's waning completely.
If you are not lucky, like I was saying with one media house not long ago, just a month ago, in fact, less than a month ago,
Yeah.
the cedi dollar exchange was 6.5 to a dollar.
Yeah.
So if I owed somebody $1 million, all I needed was 6.5 million Ghana cedis. I could be able to pay the person out.
Exactly.
Today, if I didn't pay that person a week or a month
You're
ago,
in trouble.
and I still owe that person the same $1 million, I'm not going to say I'm owing him $1 million. I would need 8 million Ghana cedis
How?
to be able to pay that 1 million. That's 1.5, Leslie. So if it's $10 million, 15 million Ghana
it's
cedis.
just bad.
And the finance guy is not interested. If he was, I'm not sure Bank of Ghana will continue to auction dollars in these critical times to people who are bringing in second-hand clothes and people importing Gotv and whatever. I mean, it's
when the fuel industry is suffering.
and it's taking a hit on the general economy.
Yeah.
You would rather go and say, I've auctioned dollars.
No, too
To
many
what targeted?
businesses are down because, most businesses would do all these imports on LCs. So if you take a letter of credit that is supposed to be due somewhere in March, and then the products were sold 3 months ago, you probably, even if you forecasted a little more on Forex, you would
7.2.
never estimate
If
that.
you went to 7.2 and today
You
it's
never
at 8.
estimate this is it. And even at 8, the dollar is not on the market.
You won't get it.
Exactly.
I know. Because
So the
Interbank
Forex
now
losses
is almost
are-
quoting the 8.
Oh.
Interbank. I went to the bank not long ago,
The bank
yesterday.
doesn't have the money.
And the bank is also quoting on their whatever. They are selling it for 7.9 something, 8 cedis. So it means that is even the interbank rate.
Yeah.
If you don't get it from the bank and you need to go to
Anywhere
the
else
open
on the
market to
market,
source for
sorry.
it, probably 9 cedis. It's bad, Leslie. Things are really bad. We need to tell the truth to our authorities. If we don't say it to them, we will continue to believe and make ourselves believe that, oh, it will get better. They are not doing anything. Omada, as I keep saying.
And to say the
Wada.
H1 for himself. God for
Leslie,
us all.
the pumps are telling us something.
Yeah.
And those numbers you see at the pumps, it's not magic. It's not conjecture.
Yeah.
They are real-time numbers coming from the international market, coming from your local market, the city market. If you put the two together, you will get those numbers at the pumps.
No,
and then you put the taxes
actually
also.
at the pump, I think that oil marketing companies do sacrifice a lot because of the extent of the spike. Sometimes they do not put the actual price there. They beat it down
Leslie,
to put a smile on the
in
consumer's
fact,
face.
let me send
it's still
a
not
word
good
of
enough.
notice to the oil marketing companies. I'm tired of them. You cannot continue to take the heat,
Yeah.
right? Complain behind the scene. You are crying. When they call you sometimes, Duncan, this is what we are operating with. Some are doing negative 22.
It's so sad.
Right? In order to be able to quote the prices you see at the pumps, their margins, they have to go into the negative to be able to sell. How do you sustain them? And then you find others also talking as though the oil marketing companies are making so much profit.
Are ripping us off. Yeah.
If you go through the numbers properly, like the AOMC in their news release had captured, you would realize that most of them would have to drop their margins, their operating margins, to stay in business.
The AOMC has to take responsibility and be a little louder, take control of the narrative, and let us know what the true situation is.
They've been publishing, but you see, Leslie, you look at the top 3, the bigger 3 OMCs.
Yeah.
Somebody will come and put a realistic price. Then another person will bring a price. Then the others will come down
drop it.
to that price, and the smaller ones will now have to go down further. So what we have now is suppressed kind of pricing.
Yeah.
What danger that portends is to the finance community. Because if the OMC doesn't survive, BDC doesn't survive.
In the long run, there's unemployment.
The finance community, where you probably are picking your LCs and loans and other things.
Oh, yes.
It's difficult to
No, the
service.
bank will go down.
They will go down.
With the companies because they can't pay back.
So finance ministry, the cycle.
It's simply a cycle, yeah. Because the companies will go down, there's unemployment.
The banks
the
are
bank
equally
will also go
collapsing.
down. Exactly, because
And then
you can't pay
you
back
want
your
to take
loans,
taxes
and
from
then
the banks,
it
you
will
can't
just
get
keep
it.
going
Taxes
like
from
that.
the BDC, you won't get. Tax from the OMC,
We
you
all
won't
lose.
get. Everybody loses. And finance ministry, we say to you, times are really bad and rough. We don't mince words with this.
Yeah.
In the past, we would have gone to fight with the NPA. But they are not in charge of finance and consolidation.
Yeah.
They are only there to
Regulate
regulate
the
what you say,
industry.
what you tell them to do. Now they are saying times are bad and rough. France, as we speak, an EU country, a first world country that is paying workers, right, realistic incomes, wages per euro per the hour, has realized petrol prices, even for them, is becoming a challenge. So they have put together a 2 billion euro support for 4 months. This is France, a first world country whose citizens are able to afford a lot better than Ghanaians can afford. They are putting interventions in place. The Ghanaian authorities
we have to call on BOST and then
asleep.
The finance ministry, like you said, everybody needs to come to the table, and together we can get somewhere.
Leslie, if only they will, we'll be more happy to interact. We have our papers, we have documents we've submitted. If and only if they were looking at these things and try to at least find solutions. Leslie, maybe they would have found solutions for us in December. We just entered the new year. This is March.
It's not too late. I mean,
and it's getting...
We can wake up and fix it.
Please wake them up. Because we are complaining. And what we are also agitating, you know, we are happy to use forums like yours, you know, to vent our frustrations at the system. But up to a point, we'll probably have to go out there in our numbers and say, we are tired, we are struggling. So do something about it. We don't wish it gets there, because we believe they are knowledgeable people who know their jobs, the way forward. Let them get to work so that the pumps do not expose all of us.
Yeah. Duncan, thank you so much.
Leslie.
I think this has been a very good one. It's been very realistic and very insightful. I'm very grateful, and I hope that if we have to discuss this any further, you make yourself available to us.
Leslie, anything to give the Ghanaian a relief. It is not funny that fuel at the closing of the year 2021, around 6 cities.
And now
within the first 3 months, we are crossing 10 cities, 11 cities. There's no hope for some of us until we see people get down to work. And then the pump numbers vindicate them. But as we sit here now, nothing so far has been done. We are unhappy.
Anyway, I do trust that, I mean, as these things have been vividly discussed, we'll have our leaders waking up to some of it. And I know we have able people who can do it if they really want to. So, thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
This is what we do on Energy Quest. We demystify the energy sector and add value. Till we meet again. Ciao.